Hey,
Hi.
what up?
Did you pick a favorite of our heads yet?
I mean, isn't your favorite your head?
That'd be super vain, I feel like.
Okay, then my favorite's
It's
yours.
like it's like voting for yourself. You're not supposed to do it.
Oh, well, I mean, it is.
Unless
Your
you're
head's
running
your
for
favorite.
president,
My head's
and
my
then you're
favorite.
supposed to.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah, sure. That sounds good. How are you, John?
I'm good. How are you? It's been a while.
It has. It's been 4 weeks, precisely. I had some stuff going on 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago, so
this is what happens.
I couldn't do it. It is what happens. I feel like it happens. I don't know. Is it seasonal? I don't know. I don't think it's seasonal.
Could be.
For me, it was basically I was just like swamped with work and conference. So,
How'd it go? The conference.
do you want to talk about it?
Sure. Do
It
you not
sucked.
want to? It
It's
sucked.
horrible. It was horrible.
What was
I
bad?
thought my I thought my talk went really well.
Oh, great. I gotta move you on this other screen. 'Cause I'm like
I
to the
got
side.
no engagement whatsoever. So like
Oh,
I put in a lot of energy and effort into it. I painted all of the slide illustrations on paper and then
oh my
photographed them.
God. What?
It was enjoyable. It was an enjoyable experience. But but it was a lot of like effort and energy
Yeah.
that I put
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then I thought the talk went well. I thought I crushed it, and I basically didn't get anything from anyone afterwards. Like
What the fuck?
it was just like there were 150 to 200 people in the auditorium where I spoke. So there were people there,
What's the
but
title of your talk?
the title of the talk is how to misadventures in SEO, how to self sabotage your docs. It
Nice.
was at a conference called Write the Docs, which is like for documentarians. So it seemed like the right place to give this talk, but I
Yeah.
just don't think it was. I actually don't think that. I have been surprised. I was surprised that they accepted this talk. I also have another conference in the summer that accepted it, and I'm surprised that they accepted it. Like
Okay.
it's just a weird. It's it's a story, and it's a like it's interesting. I think it's interesting just to describe the problem and talk about solving it. I just don't think it's super hot right now because there's no AI in it.
You didn't have any AI slides?
I mean, I have one at the end. That's like, why does any of this matter? Because
AI is going to take all
everybody
those
knows
jobs.
AI is better than SEO, AI-based search.
Hey, did this enter your awareness? There was a guy that did a write up of some redacted Google emails, and he's talking about like why Google search sucks.
I did not really. I don't know that I saw this exactly. I did see a story today that kind of counter, like negated some things that I said a week ago,
Oh,
which was funny to me. I don't know about negated, but no. But I would definitely like to read that.
okay. I'll put it in the
What
no
is there a
shows.
TLDR?
Yes, basically that a engineer that had been at Google since 1999, very important person in the development of Google as we know it. He became replaced by what is essentially like a business guy.
Oh, I did see this. Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Like an
and
a guy from ads. Yep.
and so all of the incentives, all of the special sauce that made Google, you
Yeah.
know, I mean, for me, like my relationship with Google has really changed over the years because at some point, like I really like loved them, like thought they were, like one of those tech companies you could really like aspire to, and
Yeah.
being in the tech industry. Do no evil. When Gmail came out, when Chrome came out, like I was on board, but it has really
Yeah,
shit
it's
the bed.
it's garbage. It is absolute garbage. It is just all ads, so that totally tracks. I feel like.
And this person that wrote this post tracks it through these redacted but pretty. I mean, you can read most of the emails. He tracks it through and like kind of, connects things back to the releases because Google, the search engine itself and its algorithm, very proprietary, and so you don't always get a lot of behind the curtain. It's
Yeah,
actually
definitely.
pretty fun to read some of those emails and get a little behind the curtain, and see how even they talk about it. One thing, I shared this with my old PM at Artsy, Jenna. Old because I moved teams, because she came from the marketing team and has an SEO background, so I thought just like right up her alley. But we were joking because there's a lot of mention of OKRs in those emails.
Oh yeah.
And like OKRs, the worst.
Yep. I mean,
Best
if you
way
give
to-
someone something to chase, they're gonna chase it, and
100%.
yeah, yep,
And so again,
yeah.
Steve, you've heard me say this before. OKRs might be a fine way to run a company, but they have no relationship to building quality software.
Yeah. I have yet to experience an OKR structure that felt like it was a positive thing to me, that wasn't just about incentivizing. I don't even know what it's incentivizing. Like, you're chasing numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't like them.
it's the worst.
The worst. What have you been up to for the last month?
One more
I'm
thought
sorry.
about this write-up is he goes hard on this guy that replaced the engineer. He is not a fan of that gentleman.
No.
And he really lays out why he thinks he's
I would love for
like,
you to
a
share
bad
this.
person.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I will say no more. What else? Which direction
You
did
can
you want to head
complain about Google the whole time. I wanted to ask you what you've been up to the last month.
next? Not too much. I've been making a ton of progress on. So I'm trying to cut Google out of my life.
Yeah.
And one thing that's holding me back is Google Drive, where I have a set of spreadsheets. And one of those spreadsheets are like my personal finance. Did we talk about
Yeah.
this yet?
I'm sure we have. Like, I don't know that we have like here, but
Okay.
you and I have talked about it.
So basically, it's not anything super fancy, but I grab the CSV of transactions from my bank. I like download the CSV every month. I throw it in a Google Doc, and then I had like a couple smart formulas to like I would do like the starting balance, ending balance. Anyway, I would just like get a few little numbers together for my personal finances.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought there's no reason I can't build that in Ruby on Rails. So I did. And so now I have that same sort of spreadsheet style reporting,
Dang.
but it's like in a table, in a website, and I can drag the CSV into it. And it's
Cool.
been super fun to work on that and get one step closer to never using Google again.
Complete freedom. That's super fun.
That's fun.
You do a lot of those like fun side projecty things with your
I
free
try
time.
to.
It's admirable.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tell me about Wolf Dad.
Oh, I just happened to wear my 3 Wolf T-shirt today. I was expecting to do this like pretty challenging refactoring at work today. I ended up getting pulled in a different direction, so I didn't. But sometimes when I have a hard thing to do at work, I like
That's
it's so silly,
awesome.
but like I wear a shirt that makes me feel good, and then
Yeah, it amps you
I have
up.
more mental energy.
I love it. I can relate to that. I do that with indoor cycling training rides, where usually I just like wear bike shorts, and then I just wear like any athletic shirt. Doesn't really matter. Except on the days that I know are going to be hard, I'm like, I'm going to dress in my kit, and I'm going to wear
you're
like an
feel
outdoor
cool.
kit and like wear a cycling cap, and it's just silliness, but I love
These
it.
tricks we play on ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you just got to boost yourself a little bit.
That's right.
Mine says edge case because I live in an edge case
What does that mean?
where But we had an issue tonight trying to purchase some jogging pants
Okay.
because we live in the city of Wauwatosa. However, we have a Milwaukee zip code because we live right on the boundary.
So that kind of
And
messes things up.
software developers always trying to like be smart and solve things for you. Will look up the address or the zip code for you based on the address, and they see that city and they choose the wrong zip code for us. In this case, like they wouldn't let us correct it, and so my daughter was trying to buy these pants and just kept getting a what was it, like a billing zip code does not match address error or something. She ended up not being able to buy them. I was able to buy them because I went through like Google Pay. I think that's what it's called. Google something. I don't like. Basically, Google handled the payment for me. It's just silly.
Yeah, you are.
Computers are dumb.
Do you identify with? I think it's Justin Searles who's always like.
I was gonna bring that up too. You beat me to it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what's up with him. Like he seems to have infinite edge cases within his life. This is like the one edge case that I have.
But it has to do with where you live and how you get things delivered
Yes,
to your
exactly,
house.
exactly. Like it's not. I don't.
You can literally do
I'm not
nothing
choosing
about
it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like what I want to do is I want to complain to. I think it's actually was going through, like Shopify. I think that was handling payment on this one. I want to just be like, look, dudes, it's not working. What you're doing isn't working. Like,
Yeah.
just let me tell you what the damn address is.
I promise you, I know my address.
Yeah. And my daughter was like, Dad, doesn't this happen to you all the time
Dude,
when you
that's
shop?
probably OKRs in action, right? This is a callback.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And it does happen to me all the time, but just it's never happened to me when actually trying to submit a payment and being prevented from submitting the payment. It's always just like enter your address, and then it looks up the wrong address, and I can either go change it manually or I can't change it at all. In which case I'm just like, I don't really care, but I'm not getting something shipped, so I don't need to worry about it.
A lookup that populates a form that you can then edit seems reasonable to me.
Yeah.
A lookup that populates a form that you cannot edit seems stupid.
Yeah, definitely. Agreed.
Okay, cool.
John, should we do some computing stuff?
Let's do some computer programming. Let's program some computers.
I always I have been deferring to you on this project in terms of maintaining context and reminding us where we were at. Do you want to continue to do that, or do you want me to start?
That's fine. I
pulling
do
my
feel
weight?
a little guilt about driving so hard, but it should only take about 6 more sessions for us to finish this up, and then we can move on to one of your projects.
I don't even remember what a project is at this point. I have forgotten. I'm gonna need some OKRs to figure out what to do next.
So we're working on this game called Crank Champ, and we explored the keyboard a lot last time.
We sure did.
Because we want to be able to enter a user code, and tonight we're going to work on persisting it.
Yeah.
There's a few different ways the Playdate gives you access to the file system of the Playdate. So maybe we'll start there. I'm going to share
good.
my screen. Let's see, I think it's this button.
Hey, while you're loading things up here, I also want to say that your microphone, your audio, sounds extremely more clear than it has in the past. Yes. I don't know if you are using a different microphone or you chose different settings when you came in, but I can hear your background, which I can't usually hear, and I like that.
Oh, okay.
I like that because I like the clarity of the microphone. I can hear the sounds. I can hear you crack your knuckles. I heard you crack your knuckles earlier.
I'm just checking. So yeah, it's still my Yeti. I don't think I did anything different, but great. Good to hear.
Sounds great. Good job. Good work.
Okay. One more thing I like to do is change the resolution of my display. Wow, it's like it's the first time I've done this. I probably could have done this before we started, but here we are. Okay. I think that's a lot better because the entire display gets
Yeah. Everything zooms.
embiggened. Okay. So, this move styling is bothering me. Okay. Files. So, let's remind ourselves to the simulator we go. Okay, let's stop. Oh, I want to play. Okay, let's remind ourselves that last time we met, we did this. So we are in a state where we're drawing the user screen. The user screen gives you a prompt for enter your user code. You can then use the Playdate to enter a few things, and then use the thing to go, okay, you've entered the code. The thing is, we need to like remember this code and skip the screen the next time you come in. So
Right.
I think the best way to do that is to write a file to disk, and this little bullet pointed list gives us our entry point. So
Sure.
there are a few different approaches to writing and reading data. So playdate.datastore, playdate.file, playdate.json. I don't know yet what direction to head in. I'm definitely interested to hear your thoughts here, because while our current need is very focused on just writing a token for the user's code, we are also going to need to store how many cranks they have. So as far as I can think, we probably have 2 data points.
That sounds right.
You know what? Maybe also like a timestamp or like a date for like a count of cranks and the date. Maybe, I'm not sure. We would maybe need to do a little more messing around.
I think the big question for me is duration of persistence, if that makes sense. Like, is the data store something that only persists in this particular session of you being in this app, or does it persist across sessions? Playdate file, I would assume, persist across sessions.
I think they all do across sessions.
They all go across sessions. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's my biggest concern. Just that we don't have to do this every single time we open the app.
My sense is that with data store, it's like, it's like table in, table out.
Yep.
And we really haven't messed much with Lua tables. We sometimes get them as like a thing, and you can kind of call something on them, but so I'm not. Can
we talk about your understanding of what a table is in Lua? Because my understanding is it's basically just like key value pair type of thing.
Yeah. So in JavaScript, we might call this an object, and Ruby might call it a hash. Yeah.
Right.
I think that's true. Maybe let's take a quick detour. I don't know, this one. Associative arrays.
Yes. That's...
Okay, so this is a hash.
This is what we're talking about.
Object.
Yeah, I mean, that feels like a good thing to store it as, right? Like, if we have 3 properties, we just have an associative array with 3 properties on it.
But then I'm like, well, I really know how to handle JSON. Should I just do JSON?
That's interesting, yeah. What does it say? So here it says if you're looking for a simple way to save data, allows easy serialization. Does JSON say something different?
Yeah.
Like advanced cases or something?
So maybe let's like read some more docs, right?
I think that sounds right.
Okay, so a little bit of a note here. I was actually trying to find it. There is an actual, like, you can go to Finder and like find where this is.
Where what is?
Sorry, let me try that again. When you're running the simulator, you actually are writing to your
where the
Mac
file
OS
exists.
System.
Got it.
And so I was actually trying to find like SDK's disk data bundle ID, trying to find it. I'm not 100% sure like where this is.
There's a disk folder that's described.
Oh my gosh. Genius. Okay, so
And then
what I
bundle
think
ID.
is I'm in the right spot, but there's nothing there because we haven't written anything to this.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Okay, good call. Okay, let's keep going. If you're looking for a simple way to save data, Okay, and it's about serializing the serialization of Lua tables and images. In our case, we don't really care about that, but we get a write, a read, and a delete. File name, I believe, is optional, and there's like a fallback to just using a file called data.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty print, I'm not sure I care about that. But yeah, so it's like write a table, read. Okay, what is it? Returns, and then okay, returns a table. I really wish these docs had return types.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, in the JSON.
One thing I think is strange here is it keeps talking about JSON in here, even though there's like a separate API method for interacting with, or object for interacting with JSON.
It's confusing.
Is that weird?
That's weird. Okay, let's hold that in our thoughts and then go down to playdate.file. Okay, so this looks like the most low level. Okay, about the Playdate file system. Okay, oh, right. So now they're talking to us about the file system and that there's a app bundle directory and a data directory. The data directory is the writable location. Your app bundle is read only, and you can't read anywhere else. Those directories. Okay. All right. So now we get an open with a path and a mode. Read, write, append. And you get a file close. So like when you have the file, you can call close on it. You can call write on it. Yeah, this, I mean, I can tell right away this is a lot more low level.
Yeah,
flush,
a lot more complex.
Read, seek, tell. Not that interested in this, if I'm being honest.
Can you think of an example where you would want to have this level of control in terms of saving files versus using just the tables? I mean, it's got to be something that cannot be represented as a table or something, right? Like some sort of binary format.
I was going to mention binary. Yeah. Compression. Like, are you trying to compress something? And
sure.
Then you want to like do some tricks with byte stuff. I put strings on the internet for a living, so it's hard for me to put myself.
Everything fits into a table.
Yeah.
When that's what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and then we get back to file system operations. So here's like list files, exist, is dir. I mean, I've definitely done things with like exists and is dir and muckadir. I've done those kinds of things, but I don't know. This doesn't really seem like.
It feels like way overkill for what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of complexity here that we don't need, and I think everything that we do need would be represented in whatever the previous one that we looked at is.
Yeah, I think so too. Now we've moved on to geometry. So I'm a little confused because I thought we were going to get like a JSON.
Yeah, there was that option at the top, wasn't there?
Playdate.json. Oh, they just put it in different sections.
Oh,
Super stupid.
So this is, but no, it's different because you can use JSON without persisting to a file. The top level JSON thing that we looked at, or the top level table thing that we looked at, seems like it is this really simplified abstraction over both writing to files, actual physical files, using these JSON methods here. And I think what they're saying is if you want to take over and you're going to do all this file access stuff and you want to store it in JSON format, here's a bunch of helpers for you.
Got it. So if you want to do it yourself, you can use the JSON and the file system stuff. If you want us to do it for you, you can use that first one, which is like that data store. Okay.
So what I will say about the docs is I think that this is like a super documentation nitpicky thing. If you go back to that thing where it listed the 3 bullets, yes, exactly. Where it lists the 3 bullets, like those look, when you read it, it looks like those 3 things are siblings. Yes. They are not siblings. Playdate JSON, if it's indented one, I think would make it more clear that it is attached to playdate.file.
Right.
Mic drop.
You can use playdate.file alone, or if you want a little bit more structure, you can also use playdate.json. But we don't want either of those. We want playdate.data.
We just want the simplified
I'm pretty
thing.
sure.
I agree. Which really under the covers probably uses playdate.file and playdate.json.
That would be my assumption. But they probably just make a bunch of assumptions for you to make it nice to work with. Okay. So now I'm back to wanting to think about tables just for a bit. I want to read these docs just a little bit. Okay, so we can make a table with curlies. Now we have a local called k that's value is x. Okay, so this is how we set. So this is like, wait, what? Oh, okay, so
There's like one layer of indirection here where they could just do a sub x equals 10 would be a better first step.
I think you're right. Gotcha. Do entry with key. Okay, gotcha. Yep. They reset k.
K equals 20 and more indirection.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, you can enter. Mm-hmm. Okay, so one thing we could do is have our keys be things like user code.
Crank
We could
count.
we could have like the key be the date, and then the value is the count for that date.
So you're thinking that you would be keeping multiple crank counts over a history of it?
What I'm thinking is I wouldn't let you take yesterday's cranks forward to today, and so maybe
Sure.
using that way of
That makes sense.
rehydration would keep it so that you could only. Anyway, that's
Yeah.
neither here nor there. I think we should use a table. I think this is the right path. Okay, and you seem to be in agreement.
Yes,
So,
definitely. Definitely prefer that to the low-level file system stuff.
yeah, I don't want to mess with bytes. Okay, so now I'm thinking about where in the life cycle or something we should be doing this kind of stuff. So let's remind ourselves what main.lua does. We can kind of read it from bottom up because init is the punchline. That gets defined up here. So we get the system menu. Oh, okay, so we set up our normal encode menus, and then the user screen gets rendered. Okay, so this used to be rendering the normal screen. We changed it to be the user screen. So likely somewhere in init, we'll need to read the data file and see if a code exists and skip the user screen if it does exist. But
Right.
I'm going to forget that
Yep.
because I want to stay focused on writing to it first.
Right. We can't do that until we can write.
Okay, and then we have a couple handlers here. This is about counting cranks. This is what the keyboard. Oh, and then this is just like our update loop. Okay, so this is one that matters. So we have a text changed callback. But what we don't have is a dismissed the keyboard callback, which is sort of like saying, okay, I've entered my code. Stop with the text
Yep.
entry. So I think
At one point we did last time, and then we shifted so that we could actually capture the code every step along the way.
Okay.
I remember we were looking at there's an argument into whatever that handler is that says if you hit OK or cancel.
Yes. I should just do Command F. There it is. Okay. So we have a show hide, we have a text, we have a sec. I don't care about that. Left with is did show.
There you go.
Did hide. Will hide. It's gotta be did hide, right?
Well, I mean, we can find out if that argument is there or not. But it states in these docs that will hide is the one that contains the OK or cancel indicator. And
Oh.
if did hide does not include that, then we don't know if they accepted their name or they decided against it.
Well, now I'm like, what would it mean to cancel? Yeah, what would it mean to cancel here?
That's a good question. If you don't have a code, like you would think that you would stay right here.
You have to like
Can we-
relaunch the app to get the keyboard to show up again?
Well, I mean, in our shitty app, you do. But well, we could write the code so that it doesn't do that, right?
But
Well, I
so
think
then,
maybe that's. I wonder if will hide. If does will hide give us the ability to abort and say no, we're not going to hide it, or is it just a? It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't indicate that you can say abort.
so we could get that argument, and if they didn't say okay, we could call keyboard show. All right. Well,
Yeah.
let's at least implement this
Let's
thing.
let's do the happy path. Let's start with the happy path.
Okay. So I guess I'll do that after. Oh. Sure. I didn't talk about this with you, I don't think, but I've switched to an Ergodox keyboard, and
Oh boy.
it's going okay, but I'm definitely like struggling.
Floundering a little.
What do you call this? Selected okay.
Accepted.
Oh, accepted. Like that? Did I spell that wrong?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, and then just like print accepted.
Right. And I remember now, and you might think that there would be another argument for the value, but you're expected to go pull that value.
Instead, you do it
Instead.
like this, right?
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so I'm gonna press A few times. I'm gonna go over to OK, and hey,
True.
look at that, it's true.
Cool.
And you gotta reboot the simulator. Then I say, I'm not doing this, and we get a false. Okay. Okay, so stay on the happy path, right?
I think so. I think if you accept it, we say let's write this thing. And a nice like super quick feedback loop for us would be once we do this once, we should be able to go to your file system and see that something got written there.
Right.
Right?
Yep, I agree. So I'm going to do it right here in this callback. I'm going to do that with a... I think it's like then. Oops.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Okay.
We present a message on the screen that says, "You are an idiot. What are you doing?"
Everything's terrible. Back to files. God, I can never figure out how to use these docs.
There you go. Playdate.datastore. All right.
I probably need to import something, right? But I don't see any hints. Usually they're pretty good about hinting you towards imports. I guess let's see what happens.
Weird.
All right, so these are optional, and so I'm just going to ignore them.
Sounds good.
Delete key is here. Okay, so we need to have a key. I think I can just say local table. Oop. I gotta do that. Okay, and it looked to me like you do curly braces.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can be like square brackets. So maybe this is like user code. And then I'm like equals. What? What's
Snake case.
yeah.
JSON with snake case? What are you doing, you
I don't know.
Ruby monster? User dode.
And it's okay.
I
Now
I had a legitimate physical reaction. When I
yeah,
saw
you
that.
did. I
I'm
could
like,
tell.
uh-oh.
You were mad.
I do not want to spelunk that JSON.
Okay, question for you. I believe there are two ways I could get this value. One is by going to playdate.keyboard.text.
Yep.
One is
That's the
going
one I'm aware of.
userdata.code.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Who's the source of truth here?
I think if you were to imagine that we were going to do any sort of fudging of the data when you entered it, like we would say, let's say you can't ever enter the letter E. We just don't like the letter E. I think of, in that case, the user data being the source of truth, because maybe we decide to store the raw data, but like when you retrieve it, we give you the filtered version. I don't know. Is any of that convincing?
I can see it both ways, but I'm going to go with this.
I will consider that convincing then.
I think you just do it like that. Okay.
I remember last time we had a whole bunch of confusion about when to use dots and when to use colons that I don't think we ever ended up feeling comfortable with.
All right.
Okay. Go.
Okay. No panics.
Anything in the terminal?
Hey.
Oh, look at that. What's it look like?
Aw, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that preview would give you Finder would give you a preview of it. That's really nice.
Cool. I mean, that's what I thought it would do. It did what I thought it would do. Okay, so then...
Ship it.
So then we could read this. Where would we do that? We could do it in init. Let's do the dumbest thing that can possibly work.
Yeah. Make it work, then we'll make it better. It really wants to correct you to capital U. Why is that?
I don't know. Oh, wait. So how should I... what kind of... what's the API like? Okay. Return the table. Make sure the data... It should be... If no file is found, this function returns nil.
So you're either going to get a table or you're going to get nil.
Okay. So I could say local table is this. Oh, and note we didn't have to import anything.
Oh yeah, no imports.
Okay, so if I do that, I'm reading off disk. It could exist or not. If it doesn't exist, table is now nil. So I do like a if check here. Feel free to call out if you think this is wacky. So if I have a table, then do something else. If I don't, you got to do that.
Yep.
And then in here, this is like...
We're going to set the code.
And then I'd be like user code.
I think that sounds right. And then we'll also want to render a screen, right?
Yeah, so maybe now at this point, we're like back to normal screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think what will happen is it will be able to read the thing off disk.
Mm-hmm.
Table will be truthy. So we'll fall into the top case. We'll set the user data.code and we'll render the normal screen.
Mm-hmm. I think that sounds right also.
Sim, and look at that.
And we go straight to the crank count, which means that we're in the user screen.
Yeah.
Or the normal screen.
Now, if I go back to Finder and I destroy this file, destroy this folder, and I think it will go back to the user screen. Look at
Enter
that.
your user
Okay.
code. Cool.
Okay.
Nice work.
Is init the right place to do this?
I have an opinion. I think all of this belongs in user data. or at least the initialization of the reading from the file and sticking it into the user data belongs in user data. The rendering of the screen, that's a different question. That I'm less confident about.
Yeah, you could imagine reading and setting user data being refactored up into something here. I don't know if it's in the init or if it's in like a
Constructor, something.
yeah, like maybe like a function on user data to say like read or rehydrate or like what like some kind of kickoff method.
Yep.
And then the conditional is more about do we have a code? And when we
Right.
have a code, then we render the normal screen. When we don't, we render the user screen.
Yeah. Yep.
That seem legit to you?
Yeah, I think I like it.
Okay, so let's go back to user data. Okay, so these weird classes.
Oh, we have an init function here already.
Yeah,
That's
we have an init
interesting.
function. So should we just like do the path of least resistance and do that? Let's go away.
I think so.
So I think what that
Until
means
it's broken. Are you interested in doing any sort of commits before we start changing things around?
I feel like
Or
I'm still
stash- or,
spiking a little
staging?
bit. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yep.
It's a good call out, and I know it's 9:41, but I feel like we're still learning a little bit.
Yeah.
And so
I'm mostly just thinking in terms of undoing. Like if we
Yeah.
go down this route and decide we don't like it. Like a waypoint type of commit.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, we could definitely do like a whip commit. Why is this like this? I want to do Command Z up. Yes. Okay. Okay, we'll whip commit. Okay, so in the init, we could say that, and then we could say what I would typically do here is like a ternary.
I bet it exists.
Yeah, okay, so let's check out.
Do you have GitHub Copilot? Oh wait, that's not VS Code.
Right, I'm a heathen. And
Blah or non-blah?
Come on, you guys. Okay, so it's like. Oh, okay, so it's like.
Oh,
table
okay.
And.
This is relying on
Or-
like short circuit execution, basically.
Does that look right?
It does look right. I actually question whether you do want to do this as a ternary because I think the check long term might be a little more complex. Like you might not. It might not just be that the table exists. It might also be that table user code exists and isn't empty. You know what I mean?
So you're thinking more like.
Don't worry about it now.
What?
Don't worry about it now. Let's get to working for. I think of it as like a edge case. It's not a happy path situation that we'd be
Okay.
looking at.
Okay, then I will just do the dumbest thing I can think of, which is table and table user code or empty string.
Yep, I think that sounds right.
Okay, so we did that in our init, so now we no longer need to read in here.
We actually didn't do it in our init, right? We did it when the
Our
file
user
loaded.
data init.
Yes, which is at the top of that file on line 17.
So
Yes,
at this
okay.
point, we know whether or not we have a user code.
Yep.
And so then that means that when we do our initial paint, we can ask our user data if it has a code.
Yes. I think this sounds right to me.
Okay, so we're gonna run again. I got to the normal screen, so that's good evidence that we're on the right track here. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go to Finder. Whoa, what?
That is weird. That feels like we messed something up. Oh, because empty string would be truthy.
Huh. Got it. Yep, you're totally right. Okay, what am I doing? I want to go to no.
You want the second one from the right. There you go.
Yep, you're totally right. This is insufficient.
This may be fine. Main.lua might be the one that's wrong.
Yeah, you're right. We could do this.
If it's not equal to empty string.
Yeah.
And this might be, maybe we do want to move it, but this I think will get us there, get us to functional faster.
Is this not equal?
Is it the word not?
Dude, for real?
Man, I wish you had some sort of like AI-based embedded help tool inside of your editor.
Shut up.
Oh, is it less than greater than?
What? What just happened?
Is it tilde equal?
Oh my god, go away. Oh my god, dude, just
Oh
tell
wow,
me
this
how
person
not-
has too much time on their hands. I think it's tilde equal.
I hate it so much.
It's everybody has a more complex question than what we actually have, which is what is just not equal.
Wait. Okay. AI. Chat. I should
There
just
you go.
listened to you like 2 minutes ago.
I mean, let's hope it's telling the truth. That's the beauty of AI is you're really just rolling the dice. Can you find the tilde on that keyboard?
Steve. Okay.
This is all an elaborate like scheme by me set up to make you flounder to find the tilde key.
Okay.
I listened to your
podcast.
podcast and I found out that you were using that fancy keyboard and I was like, what's the most obscure line of code I can make them write?
Hey, look at that.
Cool. So it's there. Yay. Okay, but now reload the app and make sure that it goes to the correct place.
Yeah, good call. Boom.
Okay.
Boom. Boom.
I'm sold.
Okay, cool.
Nice job. How do you feel about it?
Fairly good. You know, I struggle with doing work in an init function because
Yep. Should be typically pretty clean and simple and doesn't do anything complex.
like a file system access in an init. I don't know if I love that, but
Yeah.
I also don't think it matters. So I think I'm cool with that.
Can you sleep?
I can sleep. We're calling render on two different things. It's like
Yeah.
a little part of my brain that's like, I wish I could conditionally set a local variable to one of these two screens and then call render on that
Sure.
local, but I don't really know how to do that, so...
It is, sorry to go back to the init thing. It is weird to have, back in the main Lua.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
Did you just spill? Oh,
Almost
no.
very close.
It is weird that some of the initialization happens there on line 17 and the rest of the initialization happens on line 23. The kind of state initialization.
Tell me more.
Well, just, don't you think, I mean, I guess maybe, I would think of that init function as being, this is the place where all of the state is going to get set up into the correct play, like everything, all the pieces are going to get lined up. It's like a chess game. I'm going to like put all the pieces in their home position. And it sort of seems like that's what the init of the user data is also doing. So to have the user data init, init, that's defined in the other file, doing that initialization, and also we do a bunch of initialization later inside of that init function. What I'm trying to say is I agree that it's weird to do all this in the init, in the constructor.
we could pull this out into another function, and then
Yes.
we could
Call it more explicitly.
read or something, or whatever whatever we settled on.
Init, setup, something.
Could do.
I don't feel like it's necessary. I guess I just wanted to second what you're saying.
Yeah.
It is smelly.
A little smelly. Okay, what about down here? Don't love the will hide callback. Don't love seeing this string in two places.
Yep.
That's pretty.
That feels like it belongs in
important.
user data also. Like if user data is reading from the file system, it feels like user data should also be the thing writing to the file system.
Right. And actually, it has everything it needs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I need to see another of these. Is it just game data? Yeah. And then I guess you put this here. And then what would we call this function? Save?
Sounds good.
Okay, and then that could be like... I'm struggling with this name, but I'm going to put that
It's more
aside
like
for a
data
moment.
than table.
Yeah.
Is that the right way to access the code?
I was just thinking that.
Self.code we do on 5?
Self looks like self dot. Like so, right?
Yep.
Could do it like this. This seems better, I think.
And then what does it look like over here?
Okay, now this is a function. So we got to invoke. But I think that we have to use
Colon instead of dot?
colon.
I have no idea. Yeah, we still have that IDK, but
Yeah, getting closer though. Okay, so I think that would work. What was the game data method? Crank count? Where are we calling crank count?
you're so deliberate and cautious about
Yeah,
About
we
this.
definitely use colon.
I definitely would have run it and tried to see if it breaks. And spent half an hour debugging.
Oh, right, because yeah, like, these are rendered. Yeah, so it's colon.
Yeah, so does the colon just mean it's... No, it doesn't mean it's a method. Because
I
then
think
you
it
have Playdate
means
get
it's an
cranked.
instance method.
But not an instance property, right?
Yeah,
Instance
That'd be a
property would be a dot.
I'm talking shit. I don't know.
Seems arbitrary.
A little bit. Little bit. And like the init function knowing that an empty string is
Yeah. You want to throw another property on there that's like user data exists or something? Or...
yeah, what do you call this? Has code? Is set up?
that would be a capital U. It's one of my largest language pet peeves. Sure. Any of these are fine.
Okay. Now, is that a function? A property?
How do you do properties in Lua? Have you done that?
I mean, that's what code is.
Oh, yeah. But you have to define it, right? Or I guess you would set it. Would you set it? Oh, God, I don't like it.
I think it's got to be a function. Like, if it's going to be dynamic, it has to be a function.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about, like, what if we said something more like check or verify?
I don't care, John.
Okay.
You and I have been in this situation before. You are much more passionate about these names than I am.
Okay, and then I say, what was it called? Verify?
You can't even remember.
God damn it. Yes. And this is going to be self dot code tilde equal. Where's that?
Yeah. Good work.
No. Yeah, right. Not equal to that. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I think this is good.
Okay. Everything
Just
happens here.
Yep, I think this is better. There's maybe still some cleanup around that table business, but I think main.lua is where I would want it to be. I mean, except for this, obviously.
Yeah. Let's not solve that.
We're
right
4
now.
minutes to time anyway, so
Yeah.
probably closing in on a commit here. Let's just verify that it works, I guess. Oh, damn it.
I think that sounds good. It does not. What's it unhappy about? Which line?
Ooh, I bet it's more like, yeah. Ooh, still mad.
Attempt to index a nil value in function verify.
I mean, that's true,
Is-
but doesn't a null value not equal empty string?
Can you scroll down a little bit more to see user data save? I don't know. It is the same syntax. I was just wondering if it is an instance is user data verify. Does self not have any properties on it at the time of user data? Like a self nil?
So you're thinking self is nil.
Why?
Attempt to index a nil value local self. I don't get that. We called verify on an instance. An instance should finish its init call.
Oh wait, did we?
Self.code. Yeah, because the initting happens.
Didn't we say an
up here.
instance would be an instance method would be colon?
Oh, god damn it! You're so right.
Oh my god! If you can mistakenly call. No, okay. I mean, it's still busted
just
with
hit
the same error.
Why? Nah, it was just weirdness with the simulator.
Okay, in a weird state.
Yeah. Yes, good one. Okay, so tell me
That
what you're
sucks.
supposed to say.
I was gonna say, if you can define a method on a class and call it both as an instance method and as a class method, and it's up to you to choose whether you call it with a colon or a period to get the correct one that you want, that's bad ergonomics.
Yeah, I agree. It's too
That is
easy to
foot
make a
gun,
mistake there.
for sure. Yeah. Oh man, can you imagine the amount of time that we would lose debugging that kind of crap on a regular basis if we were working on a big project like that?
Yeah.
Whew.
Okay, so we got to the normal screen. So now
Yep.
I'm going to once again nuke this folder and then run again, and I should get to the code screen, or the user
Cool.
screen. I do. I do that. I do that. Okay, so
Saved.
now we saved it. Oh, so you know what we didn't do was rerun.
We're not transitioning screens. Do we need to clear something before we render? Like kind of what we're doing there, yeah.
This is smelly, but let's just do it. And this would be user screen. Oh, I'm not going to hit it. So
Yep.
go back to here. Folder, run hour time.
Boom.
Hit.
Okay. Boom. Nice
There
transition.
you
Love it.
go. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
That sounds good. So it very quickly there, I had 3 things listed for us to possibly get to today. One of them was the persistence. One of them was the screen transition. I don't remember what the third one was, but the persistence took us 59 minutes and 30 seconds, and then the screen transition took us the last 30 seconds. So, great
But
job.
John's spidey sense was tingling around
Yeah, that's true.
hard coding those transitions. I don't know. There's maybe something there to ponder, but
Yeah, I'd like to know
worked.
more about that, about why you feel uncomfortable about that,
yep.
or what about it makes you uncomfortable. But that's not today,
That's not today.
because we're 2 minutes over.
Yep.
John, thanks for doing this and driving and being an amazing human being.
Steve, it was an absolute pleasure. I really enjoy hanging out with you and being a rad dad with you.
And I will shout out to the world, I love you, for 0 people to hear.
Yeah.
All right. See you later, John.
Okay, bye. Love you too. Love you too. Bye.